Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks once again for joining today's webinar. My name is Hemant Prasad from Crest Info Solutions, distributor for MariaDB in this part of the world. We will have roughly about 30 to 40 minutes of presentation by our colleague Kanti from MariaDB. She's based out of Singapore. Works with MariaDB Corporation as a senior solutions engineer. So today is the part one, or the first part of the webinar series, the 5-part webinar series that we have, where we will explore different topics about MariaDB. So once a month, and if you want to sort of know about the platform, all the features and capabilities, then we encourage you to join our webinar, which is roughly in the last week of every month, starting this month. So there one in June, one in July, August, September, and I guess ending in October, somewhere around. All right. So with that, let me give a quick introduction of our speaker today.
Yeah.
Right. So Kanti, we haven't put a lot of text for you, but just to sort of share with you, Kanti comes with, I guess, a couple of decades of experience working with different databases. I think her favorite as we speak today is definitely MariaDB, but she keeps mentioning about Sybase as one of her favorite database. So I know how much she's attached to the database. I think the kids going to the college now, engineering colleges now, might not even know what Sybase is or what Sybase was, right? So that's the kind of experience Kanti brings on the table. Before joining MariaDB in Singapore, she has worked with several end customers in banking domain, I guess different other domains as well. And you have her contact details on the screen. You can send an email to her if you want to get connected on LinkedIn. You have her LinkedIn profile as well. So I will just take a bit of your time, maybe 5 to 7 minutes, to talk about some high-level overview of MariaDB and other programs, and then I will hand over the webinar to her to walk you through about MariaDB Enterprise and how organizations can modernize their applications and databases or data platforms using MariaDB Enterprise. Yeah. Okay, so to start with, right, let me congratulate MariaDB as an organization or as a database. Some of you might not be knowing or might not be aware that MariaDB is now 15 years young. I think that's how I should actually put it. Started by the gentleman's face on your screen, his name Michael Widenius, or we call him Monty. He started off MariaDB way back in October 2009, and he was also the original creator or the co-creator of MySQL, I guess 3 decades back, if I'm not wrong. And the MySQL went to Sun Microsystems and then eventually to Oracle, as I think some of you might know the journey. And when MySQL was acquired by Oracle, that's when Monty decided to fork out MySQL and start MariaDB, because he has a lot of passion for keeping the software open source, and that is how MariaDB was basically born out of MySQL fork in October 2009. But of course, it's been a long journey since then. And if you want to follow Monty's blog, you have the blog URL on this slide deck. We will share this tag with you, so you could follow his blog if you like. Right. So a bit about MariaDB as an organization. I think most of you might know that MariaDB is an open source platform, but there is also an enterprise, a commercial enterprise behind it, because I think most of the businesses do want a committed support, patches or fixes on time, while not relying on the community, which might not be a very sort of timely manner. So MariaDB Enterprise, or MariaDB PLC, which is basically a commercial enterprise behind MariaDB, it does serve a lot of customers. As you can see in the middle of the slides, there are 700 plus enterprise customers. I guess we have no idea how many of you are actually using Well, thanks, Mohammed. How many of you are actually using community? I guess there are about 1 billion downloads. That's what I know. In the Docker Hub, as you can see on the left, 75% of the Fortune 500 companies use MariaDB today. Some use community, some use enterprise. 1 billion plus Docker Hub downloads, more than 2.5 billion via the Linux distribution. So if you are using any of the Linux distribution, there are higher chances that you are already running MariaDB sometime without even knowing that is it MySQL or MariaDB. But if you have installed it maybe in last, I guess, 5 to 6 years or so, then there are higher chances that you might be thinking it's MySQL, but it's not. It's actually MariaDB. And there are more than 200,000 plus open source contributors to the MariaDB community service. Enterprise has 200 plus employees and definitely has a very proven leadership team. It's dually headquartered in Ireland, in Europe, also in Silicon Valley in California. So that is about MariaDB as an organization. Right. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, if you're using any of these Linux distribution, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, CentOS, Ubuntu, SUSE, Debian, or any other, the default database that when you basically fire a yum command is what you get is basically MariaDB now, which used to be MySQL before Oracle took over. So I guess it was basically because of some license complications. The open source license complication is why most of the Linux distributions actually made this choice that MariaDB will be the default database for these Linux distribution, right? And as I mentioned earlier, there are 75% of the Fortune 500 companies which use MariaDB for different use cases. So whether it's OLTP, OLAP, or even the vector DB, which we're going to talk next. So if you are from any of these domains, if you are a bank, you can see the DBS, one of the largest bank in Southeast Asia, in Singapore, which made a bold move, moving from Oracle to MariaDB, I guess 4,000 plus databases, if I'm not wrong, Kanti?
Yep.
Yep, including some of their critical applications, mission critical applications, which actually run on MariaDB today, which used to run on Oracle or Oracle RAC before, or whether it's Samsung or DZCert or ServiceNow, or even MDocs in telco. So, the Nokia in telco as well. So you can name a big Fortune 500 company from any of the business domains, and you will see them using MariaDB. So that is how trustworthy, I would say, the platform has been over the 15 years now. Right, so a bit about us. Crest, the organization which I represent, I'm based out of KL, Malaysia. We do have our team in the region, so we have offices around Singapore, Indonesia, US, Netherlands, Kuala Lumpur, as I said. We started off in 2012, so been in business for 13 years now. We are proud to be a MariaDB distributor, almost a decade now, and we have a strong team which helps customers setting up MariaDB Enterprise on scale, provide all sort of compliances, security, and so on, and also provides the migration support if a customer is looking to lower down their cost by migrating from Oracle or MS SQL or even MySQL, Postgres, etc. We are also very proud to be a silver sponsor for MariaDB Foundation, which is the non-profit organization behind MariaDB open source, based out of Finland. Right. That's where Monty is based out of. So yeah, we are very proud to work with the creators of MariaDB themselves. So this is the organization that I represent, Crest, based out of KL. All right, a couple of programs that we are running in order to make the customers and some of the ISVs partners aware in the region that if some of you joining today are from IT companies, from ISVs, you sell your own solutions to customers, and if you want to join the MariaDB reseller ecosystem, then we are open to onboard MariaDB resellers in the region, whether you are from Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand. Go ahead and scan this QR code, fill in your contact details, and our team will get in touch with you to assess your skills and onboard you as a MariaDB reseller. So that will allow you to join the channel ecosystem. You also get access to MariaDB Enterprise software, also be able to sell MariaDB Enterprise subscription to support your customers in your territory, and also get the latest updates about MariaDB product roadmap as well as the feature updates. So this is for those organizations who are looking to resell the software in their territory. Then we also have programs for the ISVs. Right. So if you are someone who is having their own software product and currently having or supporting different databases, maybe Oracle, maybe you have a loan origination system or a card management system, and if your application only supports Oracle database or MS SQL database or Postgres, etc. But if you want to give a choice to your customers of having different databases, because the customers are definitely picky nowadays. So, and sometimes our selling with Oracle database license can be expensive as well. The total cost of ownership for customer might be much higher. So we do help ISVs to modernize their application, make it more flexible and compatible with MariaDB database so that they can give a choice to their customers that you can run my application and you can run it either on Oracle or in MS SQL or maybe even now in MariaDB as well. And MariaDB being enterprise open source platform can actually give a lot of not only the cost advantage, but a lot of technical features advantage, which Kanti is going to walk us through next. So in the past, we have helped, can you go back?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in the past, we have helped a lot of organizations, a lot of ISVs to basically embark on this journey, and they are able to sell their applications more to the customer, because when the customer calculates the total cost of ownership of their application with a database, which is not an expensive database, but still comes with 24/7 support with all the enterprise encryption, security, backup features, etc., then the chances of getting better sales are more. So if you are interested to make your application compatible with MariaDB, join the ISV ecosystem, feel free to scan the QR code, and our team will get in touch with you. And you can enjoy our expert advice to make your business application compatible with MariaDB with either minimal or sometimes even no code changes. And it works with, and Kanti will take us through more on how, without making the code changes or with very minimal code changes, even an application which works with Oracle can actually work with MariaDB. So with that, the stage for today is to discuss about MariaDB Enterprise and specifically how to modernize your business application and data platform. The theme of today will be in terms of modernization, both your application and database. As we know that modernization is not just about rewriting your application or enhancing your application, but it does work in terms of whether your application does support a larger ecosystem, a platform stack, compatible with latest technologies like Kubernetes, containerization, and so on. And also, I think an aspect of the modernization is also whether your database, your applications are locked into a particular vendor, or are they agile enough to be able to work and to be able to scale, and also have latest features like the vector search, the RAG capabilities, the MCPs, and so on and so forth. So modernization is not only in terms of having a platform which is more modern with all the latest features and capabilities, but also which is more agile, supports a larger ecosystem, and does not lock you down to a proprietary platform. So with that stage set, I'll pass the floor to Kanti, and Kanti will walk us through about how MariaDB helps achieve the application and database modernization. Over to you, Kanti.
Thank you, Hemant.
Oh, wait, just one more thing.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I just want to tell the audience that if you have questions in the meantime, you can use the chat feature. Feel free to post your questions as we go along with the deck. And we will have at least 5 to 10 minutes towards the end of the presentation, and we will take your questions live. If we are not able to cater to all the questions, we will definitely come back to you with the written answers. But I encourage all of you to keep posting your questions on whichever slide. So there will be different slides for different features, capabilities, and I can guarantee there are a lot of interesting thoughts in this webinar. So feel free to post your questions using the chat box, and we will take up the questions. And just a reminder, this is only a part one of the webinar. There will be 4 more parts addressing various capabilities like backup restore for business continuity, security, AI, migration from Oracle, and so on. So I encourage you to join the webinars, the upcoming webinars in the coming months if you want to know more about all these features as well. And feel free to share the invites with your colleagues if they want to join as well. So with that, I won't take much of the time. Over to you, Kanti. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hemant. And I guess you covered everything. I don't have much to talk about here because your talk is like well-rounded and it has kind of touched on many of the technical aspects of MariaDB, which I want to talk, in the next few slides. So thank you so much for that, Hemant. It's a best introduction. And thank you everyone for your time. Good day to you. And I am Kanti, as introduced by Hemant. I work for MariaDB. And yes, I have got about 3+ decades of database expertise in various platforms. And today I work for MariaDB. So why I am here is just because the way I love this technology passionately, and just because MariaDB is, as you all may be aware, is born from a community and nurtured by enterprise, right? So because it is born from the community, it has all the flexibility, and it is nurtured by the enterprise organization here. It has got all the scalability, performance, availability, and security. So everything is bundled to you as one platform with a very cost-effective package. So that is the way MariaDB. So this is very much suited for the title of this presentation, which is to modernize your application. As you all know now, I also come from a very legacy environment in which, we used to struggle even to have a simple HADR environment, how to scale applications. We used to add on more CPUs, more resources to the box. And, it's only the vertical scaling only to that limit, right? Beyond which there is no horizontal scaling possibility. So there is no more vertical scaling possibility. There is no different zones availabilities possibility. So today with MariaDB, it is all possible for you. So that is why we call ourselves in enterprise grade. And we have the end-to-end capabilities, which is not compromising on the security. And it is fully open source community development. Now, I'm going to start this presentation with MariaDB Enterprise Platform and what we offer as part of this enterprise server, right? So we call this database engine as InnoDB. So this InnoDB engine is developed with state-of-the-art technology to cater to your transactional intensive workloads. That is why we have a prestigious banks are our customers today. Because as you all know, banks are transaction intensive workloads, right? So we built an engine which is intelligent enough to cater to all your state-of-the-art applications that you want to develop on top of it and get into your market to capture your business. And this is very extensively tested as well. So that means a database which is there in your environment will live with you for 5 full years. I know in the audience there could be many database administrators here. You guys would definitely understand and acknowledge how painful a process to upgrade a database, right? It is nightmarish. So you should have downtime, you should have planned for well in advance. But today in the legacy world, I'm sure every database platform forces you to upgrade every 2 years, right? And it is not straightforward as well. The moment you decide, if at all you are running on a very old version of your legacy environment, you have to take step-by-step approach, right? You have to upgrade to an intermittent platform. From there, you have to jump to the latest version. But MariaDB is so flexible enough. So even though you are running on an old platform of MariaDB, you can straight away upgrade to the latest version. So that means the latest software is able to read the data which belongs to the oldest version of MariaDB. So this much flexibility it is giving. On top of the 5-year term, if you want extended support, MariaDB is continued to be supported to you for 3 more years. So in essence, you can have 8 years of a single platform runs for you, and that much stability is enforced onto our product. just because our intensive QA and testing process. After that, we do have the enterprise grade support. That means we have experienced engineers across the globe 24/7 for you, and they are so experienced enough and they are able to support you with your service severity 1 problems and things like that. And we do have different consulting services that includes professional services and remote DBA possibilities. We have different ways of servicing you. Now, let me tell you the enterprise features, the core features. This is not an exhaustive list for for your attention. These are only few of them. MariaDB has got much more to offer. I just picked up a couple of them, which is like maybe interesting and important to you. The first and foremost thing is the data security. So in today's changing world, data security is the top priority, right, for every business. So we don't compromise on that. So what we provide is an enhanced data security. How do we provide that? It is just because we provide end-to-end encryption. So the moment your client application gives the data into the system until it reaches the storage and gets rested there, it is completely encrypted. So this will protect you from many attacks. For example, man in the middle or somebody trying to sniff through your network. It's not possible at all in MariaDB environment. And the next one is the non-blocking backup. So I'm sure many of the audience will accept and acknowledge how much it is crucial to keep up with transactional backups for your point-in-time recovery needs, right? And many of the legacy environments also, you prefer to do backups when only after the business ends. So even though many of the legacy environments claim that it is online, it is preferable always to do it after office hours. But MariaDB really provides you with a non-blocking backup. So that means even a full backup or a differential backup or a transactional backup for that matter, everything is possible while your application is up and running. I'm sure finding non-operational hours for your application, I don't think it is possible. It is near impossible because all applications are 24/7 and generating business revenue for you, right? So you don't want to compromise on that. So MariaDB provides you with non-blocking backup, so that facilitates your application seamless running round the clock. And we do have, because as I mentioned earlier, we have got many banking clients. So that means for banking environment, you know very well that, the compliance needs are very strict, right? So we constantly get feedback from our customers saying that, improved auditing is needed. So the auditing, we started off with a simple auditing mechanism, but as we evolved, auditing became very fine-grained. So in today's world, we provide you with facilities of auditing every single object level in the database. So that includes tables, rows, users, everything can be audited. And all these auditing are kept in a log format. So that means anytime you can come back and revisit and analyze on your auditing environment, what has happened and all those things. So you can have a analysis and get reports out of it. And we do provide you with real-time monitoring. So we work with multiple partners and, for third-party vendors and everything, and we provide you different ways of monitoring your environment as well. Yeah, I'm going to introduce you to a product which we proudly present. I would call this as a crown in our jewel, which is MaxScale. What is MaxScale? MaxScale was initially developed as a simple HA proxy kind of a tool, which is merely for load balancing activity. And today's world, I'm sure many of you would be using some, load balancers in some form in your environment, right? So this way, you just make sure that your database, write-intensive node is not clogged, and you distribute the load according to your needs. But MaxScale is much more intelligent than a simple proxy. It has an intelligence built in it, which means that it is able to identify SQL queries, whether it is write query or a read query, and it is able to intelligently route it through, write-intensive workloads to the write node and the read-intensive workloads to the read node. So there are a couple of configuration parameters. If you switch them on, MaxScale is able to intelligently route this to you. So that means how good it is for the performance of your write-intensive nodes, right? And on top of this, MaxScale doesn't only do this, it does a database protection. So that means it is able to mask the data. So when you want a client data to be masked, when you send it across to your clients, it's possible when it runs through MaxScale. And it also has multiple other features that includes you can limit the data access by every single user. Many features are bundled along with this product. And the next one, which is a very, very important one, is the database ease of use. So that means today, MaxScale is able to fail over and fail back seamlessly. So that means you will not even realize that there is something wrong with the node. In today's world, everything is bound to fail, right? Irrespective of how much ever your infrastructure is protected. So what happens when something goes wrong with your master node? There are multiples, you might be having multiple replicas, but there's one master, right? So definitely the write load will be affected. So the MaxScale is able to intelligently detect the problem with the master, and it is able to pick up one of the replicas according to your preferred configuration and promote it seamlessly to a next master. So that means for the end user, it is not even felt that there was something wrong with the backend. How good it will be. It will be like a real zero downtime for your 24/7 applications. So that means at the backend, one of the other replica would be, kind of working as your master. And the moment you repair the affected node, MaxScale is able to join that, kind of the new node as a new replica without disturbing the existing setup. So that means for the end user, there is no news about what is happening at the back end. So this we call it as a zero downtime, which is possible if you have MaxScale in your environment. Right. So as part of the modernization journey, I have seen many people struggling with, your workload. I'm sure you can't classify that as pure OLTP workload, right? So in many of the shops, you might be having OLTP workloads, but at the end of the day, you should also have some analytical workload to analyze your data. So there is no way you can classify some business as purely as a OLTP workload. So in this case, in the legacy places, what we need to do, we have to set up one, infrastructure, one technology for your OLTP workload. And if you want to go for a cost-effective solution, you have to buy a third-party product for your OLAP workload. So this poses a lot of complexity in your environment, right? Right from your procurement, right from kind of educating your developers, educating your infrastructure team of technologists, right? With various different flavors to manage your entire infrastructure, which is a combination of, we call it as HTAP, so OLTP and also analytical workload. But in MariaDB, it is all under one roof. So we provide you with different combinations of storage engines. So as you see on the screen, we provide you with InnoDB, and that is mainly for the transaction-intensive workload. And there is another engine, we call it as Column Store, which is for analytical workload. So when you configure these engines under one roof, so it means that both of the engines will work seamlessly for you. In between, if you have a MaxScale, you can establish a replication which makes the data flow from your transaction to your analytical workload. How good it will be, right? So as long as you know the MariaDB products, you are good to manage any kind of a workload, irrespective of whatever flavor it comes, you can do it seamlessly. So that is what we offer. And the MariaDB enterprise ecosystem, as holistically, it looks like this, right? And so at the bottommost layer, you see the MariaDB server with its replications and pluggable storage, which is already available. And the middle layer, which we talked about now, is a MaxScale proxy, which is enabling you to perform all the actions that are there in the screen. And we do provide MariaDB connectors. So what do these connectors do? In today's world, you might be having your application built on various different tools and languages, right? So you don't have to worry about the compatibility. You don't have to think, okay, I have a Java application. How do I connect this with MariaDB? There is no problem with that at all, because we provide a lot of connectors which are like adaptable with all the major platforms that are used for application development today. And on the left, we see what are the services that we provide. On the right, we provide you the monitoring tools that are available. So this is as a whole, as a MariaDB enterprise ecosystem. Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, the comprehensive security, how we are able to achieve it, because we are so flexible because of the community edition and the enterprise enhancements that we have done. We have adapted to support multiple third-party vendors' tools and mechanisms to achieve the utmost security which we want to guarantee to our customers. For example, you might be having an environment in which you have a legacy LDAP authentication mechanism, right? And when you introduce MariaDB on top of it, you might be wondering how I will be, using my LDAP existing authentication mechanism, right? It is seamless because we provide you with PAM authentication. So that means as long as you install this PAM plugin on top of MariaDB installation, you are good to go. PAM is able to identify your LDAP, configurations, and the LDAP users that you are already there, you have in your environment, they are able to connect as per your configurations. So this is what we do. And if you have a multiple keys to manage, for example, your encryption keys, and you can safely manage it in AWS Key Manage KMS, key storage, and we do provide you, walls to manage HashiCorp Vault. We support so many tools. So this means we are kind of having a comprehensive security which is able to cater to your existing environment wherein you already have some security tools are in place. We are able to adapt to it and run along with that. And this is how this end-to-end encryption works, the TLS. So we ensure your data is encrypted in the in TLS, which means in transit, as well as at the data in rest encryption. So that means everywhere it is completely encrypted. Now, so the high availability that I was mentioning, we do support the 3 different architectures mainly for the replications, right? We call it as asynchronous, synchronous, and semi-synchronous, right? So these 3 different architectures MariaDB support. You may be aware what is asynchronous, right? So once you have this kind of a setup in your asynchronous environment, so the primary doesn't wait for any acknowledgement from replicas. As long as it broadcasts the data, it proceeds. So that is asynchronous replica. And semi-synchronous, it waits for one acknowledgement from one replica at least. And of course, the synchronous is it has to wait for all the replicas to get the data applied. So it is synchronous. So we provide all 3 different ways of setting up a replication for you. It is all up to your needs, business requirements. For example, you may be having, data synchronous is the top priority for your business, or you may allow to have some kind of a lag possible, but you don't want to compromise on the performance on the right intensive workloads, right? So you may want to go for a semi-synchronous or asynchronous replication. So it is your choice. MariaDB is flexible enough to support you as per your needs. Right. So another important aspect of MariaDB is in today's world. So if you are kind of an RDBMS, you will be wondering how you will be, helping me to modernize my workload, because you might be having another set of workloads which are, dealing with NoSQL intensive, which means that you may be having a MongoDB, and you may be having a, AWS document DB. But you may want to have some kind of an interactions happening between MariaDB and this NoSQL document database world. We do provide you facilities of doing that. So this is how a document DB data can be stored in the table format in MariaDB. So this really helps in kind of a modernization requirements, because we don't restrict ourselves as a strict, RDBMS. We provide flexibility here as well. And another concept, so that is why I ask, my customers, do you want to go for your, really a NoSQL? Yes, NoSQL is easy to learn. It gives you good performance, best suited for small applications, right? But at the same time, when your developers in environment grows, it is hard to manage, right? So it means that, it gets bulky and it's very, very difficult. It gets complicated, and the management is also very difficult. So that is the reason MariaDB's advantage is able to cater to all your requirements. Now, as I mentioned, as part of this modernization journey, we support Kafka. So that means today you might be having a lot of messages coming onto your right. You see a lot of applications. You might be dealing with. Those messages would be coming from various different sources, right? We provide you with Kafka importer. So MariaDB is adaptable, is able to help you with storing all this, messaging platforms also in table formats inside the MariaDB database. Yeah. So now comes the Kubernetes, right? So this is what the microservices today, you don't want to have this monolithic application running on your legacy environments. Definitely, there is a lot of opportunity for today to modernize in the form of, containerization. So now we provide you Kubernetes operator support. What do we bundle that with? These are the products we bundle. So we do have a MariaDB Enterprise Server that runs on Kubernetes operator today, and max scale, of course, which is really needed. And of course, the enterprise cluster, which is supported by Galera. And the security, definitely there is no compromise. So as you can see on the screen, whatever is Red Hat is supporting, we support. And the testing, we have done multiple rounds of testing, and today we have got a staggered support. What do you mean by that? Kubernetes, we support multiple different versions of Kubernetes as part of one operator version. So that means in some of the shops, you might be running a different versions of Kubernetes. It is still possible for you to run a MariaDB operator using them. So this is really a real flexibility for the customer's need that we thought about it.
I just want to chip in here, Nanti.
Sure.
So this is, I think, for me personally, I just want to add my experience in here that a lot of times customers do think that we can modernize our applications, we can run those applications on a container, on a Kubernetes platform, whether it's Red Hat OpenShift or SUSE Rancher platform or EKS, GKS, like AWS EKS, Google GKS, Azure AKS, and so on. But let the database run on a sort of virtual environment, VM sort of, classic EC2 or virtual machine environment. I used to think exactly the same way before I actually land onto one of the research where I was astonished to see that out of the top 10 platforms, which are containerized by the customers worldwide, amongst the top five, the four were actually different kind of databases.
Yeah.
So I think that notion which I had that only an application should be containerized and the database should not be containerized, I think that was a wrong notion that I had.
Yeah.
So I encourage the audience to sort of explore a bit more. And you can scan the QR code on this slide, and you can land on to the page describing the MariaDB Kubernetes operator that you have. So go for a spin, try it yourself. If you need our help, drop us an email, and we'll be happy to work with you on how to run MariaDB Enterprise on Kubernetes. As I said, either of the flavor that you want to go for, whether it's Red Hat OpenShift, SUSE Rancher, AKS, EKS, GKS, and whatnot, and we'll be happy to sort of help you with that.
Yeah.
Just want to
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Hemant. Yeah. Yeah. So if I can move on. So I just want to tell you that, as Hemant mentioned, MariaDB was born out of MySQL, right? He introduced our creator, our founder to you all. And yes, it was developed as MySQL initially during the initial stages. And it was called as a fork of MySQL until recently. But it is no more a fork of MySQL. For the obvious reasons that you're seeing on the screen, many of the features that you see on the screen are not available today on MySQL. But we provide you support, and we continue to evolve in all these features we are continuously developing. So there is we don't call ourselves as a fork anymore of MySQL. Sorry.
Yeah, I just want to chip in again here, right? So MariaDB is still, I think, a very much a drop-in replacement for MySQL. So if you're running MySQL 5.5, 5.6, 5.7, or even MySQL 8, and if you want to come over to MariaDB, I think it's quite a seamless migration that you can actually expect. So there is a backward compatibility that MariaDB maintains with some of the versions of MySQL.
Yeah.
You will be able to easily actually replace. So if your application is built for MySQL, with minimal effort, you can actually make it work with MariaDB as well. And then you can enjoy the additional features that you see on your screen, which are not available in MySQL now, but are available in MariaDB. So you can enjoy the benefits of additional features, which I guess Oracle is either not, having in the roadmap or possibly we don't know about it.
Yeah. Actually, in fact, some of our customers are saying that for them to migrate out of MySQL and come to MariaDB is a easier, task than migrating their own MySQL from 5.7 to their own version, right? Upgrading itself is a difficult task. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So, other than MySQL, this is kind of a slide wherein I want to present to you how MariaDB is different from the legacy Oracle and Microsoft SQL Server, right? And some of the features you see on the left are available on Oracle as well as Microsoft SQL Server, but for sure in Oracle, as you see, there is an asterisk mark. It means every single product that you want to buy, you have to pay extra, right? So nothing comes for free other than the simple standalone instance in Oracle. Everything is all paid. But in MariaDB, if you buy an enterprise platform, it is all bundled for you together. And of course, this is a Postgres comparison. What we take pride about as MariaDB in the internals is our thread-based architecture, which helps us perform better, and it is so dynamic and flexible. So on the go, you can increase your resources. That includes your CPU, your resources, like, for example, memory. And so that gives a real advantage and edge to outperform many of our competitors. And many of the other features, you can see it on the screen. And one important thing is the Oracle compatibility layer, which is really a crucial feature that MariaDB developed for helping the Oracle migration to flow through without any problems. So this is one of the features that we developed for our banking customer, and with which they are able to migrate about their few hundred applications seamlessly. So this particular feature is constantly being developed and enhanced so that in today's world, with this configuration parameter, there is no need to change any of your application code. So most of your code are, seamlessly working in the MariaDB side, especially from Oracle's side. All right. And so this is another modernization, kind of a feature from MariaDB. We don't say that we don't support JSON, right? So many of the applications, this is a very good news for the developers, right? So you develop a lot of, kind of code or, your data stored in JSON format, functions and everything. MariaDB does support it. Yeah, now it's time to talk AI. So now, how MariaDB helps you with your AI imaginations and, your dreams about AI enhancement in your environment. Yeah, as you see on the top, I have introduced you with two SQL statements here. The select statements, as you see on the top, it just gives you a vector function and a vector data type. So it is purely a vector search select query. As you see in the bottom, there is a vector search enabled, plus your normal SQL query is also there. So there is there is a point select as well as a vector select. Both are combined together. And this is one feature of MariaDB, which is able to be run, without any problems in MariaDB. This is what we call it as a vector search enablement that we have already completed in MariaDB 11.4. So with this, we are able to, perform 10 times better than PG vector. So Hemant, you have provided a QR code here for any reason, or?
Yes, so this QR code is actually taking you to a page. Maybe you just press a click.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so it will take you to a page where there is a detailed information about the vector search capabilities of MariaDB. There are a lot of charts available. There is a lot of data available on this page, which you can lead to by scanning this QR code. And you will be able to know more about how MariaDB vector capabilities or vector native vector capabilities are far better compared to what the PG vector is able to sort of provide you. Undoubtedly, PG vector, I think, is the most popular amongst the AI apps developer today. The ecosystem is much bigger. They may be because they were the early adopter or they were the early release of the vector capabilities in any database, I guess. So MariaDB did release it a little later. So I would say it's a bit more recent, I guess 4 to 6 months old as we speak. So MariaDB was late in the game, but it's definitely much better. And you can learn about the differentiators of MariaDB vector capabilities compared to PG Vector.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Hemant. So, yeah. So, what are the exciting updates that are coming? Right? So, we are going to support MCP, which is the talk of the town, which enables you with all the dreams about AI enablement in your environment. That is the, the simple query that I projected in a few slides back is the one that is capable of achieving this, which is already we are rolling out this because this is part of our community innovation and we are enabling this in the enterprise platform very soon. And yeah, recently we have acquired a Galera cluster. So that means this Galera cluster is one of our tools which enables the synchronous replication for our customers' needs. And today MariaDB owns this product. That means it is now no more owned by any other competitors, for example, MySQL. So a lot of features are enabled because it is being developed by MariaDB from here. So you will see a lot of new enhancements coming to this product very soon.
Right. Just to add, so to give you a bit of deep dive to the audience, Galera cluster used to be an independent framework, a company, I guess a Finland company behind it that used to run it, and it was an open source platform which was deployed along with MySQL as well as with MariaDB for, I guess, more than a decade now or so. I think as of last month, MariaDB acquired this company, which innovated Galera cluster framework. Even though Galera was a part of MariaDB, I guess since beginning, and the native support was provided. The acquisition definitely adds a lot of value for MariaDB because the core team of Galera cluster will be able to focus much better on enhancing the multi-master replication, the cluster capabilities of MariaDB Enterprise in a much better way, and they don't have to sort of support others databases like the likes of MySQL, etc. So they will be able to dedicate more time. They'll be able to dedicate more time for MariaDB. Exclusively, and they will be able to work more closely with the enterprise server team of MariaDB in order to resolve if there was any issue that existed and also come up with much robust clustering platform or technology for MariaDB Enterprise. So this is a big news as far as MariaDB customers are concerned. So you can expect a much better, clustering and high availability capabilities in the coming days.
Yeah, thank you, Hemant. Yeah, one more addition. Our exciting updates are we work hand in hand with IBM Power, which is really boosting our performance for the natural internal way of working. As I mentioned to you earlier, MariaDB is thread-based architecture, and the IBM Power is able to dynamically scale up and scale down on the infrastructure side of things, which means anytime the codes, or the moment the codes are increased from the bottom of the IBM Power layer, MariaDB is able to easily adapt to it and make advantage of it, and we are able to expand and dynamically increase the performance. So many of our kind of innovations are happening in this area. So IBM Power is our partners as well.
Yeah. Again, you have two QR code. Yeah. Again, you have two QR code. You have one QR code for the Galera cluster page, and you have one QR code for the IBM Power compatibility. So if you are already using IBM Power servers with Power VM virtualization, maybe for your AS400 systems or your core banking applications, etc., then you can actually make use of your existing Power 9, Power 10. And there will be Power 11 very soon. Let me announce it much in advance, 2 weeks, I guess. So, so you can speak to your partner or your contacts in IBM in whichever country you are. And if you want to do a POC on how the performance of MariaDB is better on an IBM Power server compared to the x86 servers of whether by Dell or HP or Lenovo, etc., and then you have to pay for a lot of money for VMware. The Power doesn't restrict you in that because it comes with a built-in hardware level virtualization. So if you want to speak to your your contacts in IBM, either your IBM reseller, IBM distributor, or maybe directly IBM folks in any of the country you are from. We'll be happy to sort of put up a proof of concept, do a comparison. There is already a white paper. If you scan this QR code, there's already a white paper comparing the performance of MariaDB with MariaDB on Power versus MariaDB on x86. So much better in terms of performance, scalability, reliability, as well as security.
Thank you. Yeah. So this is what we continue to innovate. And as you see, the products that I have demonstrated so far, they are all there to help you. But the innovation doesn't stop there, right? So the MaxScale, we have recently released a new version of MaxScale, which is, we call it as 25.0x. And this is capable of multiple other features that that includes workload replay or diff router. So these are all the enhanced features to troubleshoot your production-only problems. I don't want to get into those details because it will be a kind of a deep dive topic by itself. So
but we do have but we do have the next sessions to actually talk about in more detail. So that's why I encourage you to join our upcoming sessions as well, where we will do deep dive in each of these topics, which we just touched on the surface today.
Exactly. So we are having the new catalogs feature that is all there in the community. We are in the process of bundling it for enterprise customers as well. And the DB scaling, how we want to it's a containerized platform in which we limit the user access within a single instance. In a single instance, how we want to distribute your workload across. So we are innovating in that area. And of course, the Oracle compatibility we talked about, this is being continuously enhanced. And of course, the MariaDB Kubernetes operator that is also being developed to support. And vector search is the one that is we have been just continuously enhancing further. So this is where you can connect. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Kanti. Yeah, so this is the QR code if you have further queries. I mean, there are a few queries in the chat already, so we're going to take it one by one. But if you want us to connect with us, if you're so shy to put your comments or questions here in the chat box now, or if you want to have a one-to-one conversation, feel free to scan this QR code, fill up your details, and our colleagues will get in touch with you. So while you are scanning the QR code, let me take up some of the questions which came in the chat, Kanti. Sure. So the first question was by Mr. Ahmed Siddiq. So the question was, how about the backup compression? So I did share the link that, yes, MariaDB Enterprise Backup does support the gzip compression, so you can save on the space. If you have any follow-up question, feel free to actually put it. And then we have questions from Muhammad Hashim, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. There are two questions. Can the audit logs be exported to external SIEM tools?
Yeah, possible. It is all stored in the simple text log format. So this is a simple Unix file. So anytime you can import to any other analyzing tool as per your requirements.
Right. So you have your log shipping tools, Logstash, etc., or a Splunk, etc. You can actually monitor and pick up the log files. The second question is the role-based access control implemented in the auditing features?
I have to go back and check that, but what I know is role-level auditing is possible, but rollback.
No, this is a question whether RBAC, the role-based access control, is implemented in auditing. Now, I think you just answered that the audit is basically the flat files which gets generated and they are shipped to a monitoring tool or as SIEM tools. So I guess the RBAC will have to happen maybe in an external SIEM tool. But if there is no integration with the SIEM tools, then how does the role-based access control?
We do have this as part of the security environment setup itself. You can limit the user access, right? So if you want to call that as a role-based access control, it is possible. You can set it up. And once it is set up, once it, if at all it gets violated, there is a way it's possible to audit that as well. So as a whole environment settings, it is possible to achieve what you want to achieve.
Great, thank you. Noor Halim, which one is better, vector search or indexing engine? For example, indexing search in Elastic. Let me share my thoughts, and then maybe you can do deep dive, Kanti, right? So I guess the objective is different, right? So let me just share our own experience, because we ourselves, being a MariaDB distributor implementer, we are also a system integrator who delivers a lot of solutions. Yeah. So what we experienced is that initially, to be honest, when we started adding AI features, AI capabilities to our applications, we evaluated a couple of vector database. One was Melvius, and another one was I forgot. It starts with W. I forgot the name now. So these are specialized vector databases. So what we were doing is that we were reading the data from the MariaDB database, which is our OLTP database, and we were pushing it to the specialized vector database. And then we were trying to integrate both. Anyway, MariaDB was already running behind the application, but then we were trying to integrate the specialized vector database in our application as well, in order to give the RAG, reg, or vector in the search capabilities. And that is when, I guess, to my surprise, one evening I saw the post that MariaDB now supports vector search, and it's in preview, so we asked our team to evaluate it. Now our architecture is much simpler. We don't have to maintain two different databases, one OLTP and one vector, because we are able to utilize the same MariaDB instance to basically run our OLTP workload and vector workload without the need of complicating the setup. Yeah. So this is what the advantage that MariaDB can basically gives you, rather than trying to write your data to an OLTP database like MariaDB, and then trying to ship it to a specialized vector or an indexing engine like Elastic, etc., and then trying to do your vector queries there. Yeah. You are going to need more servers. Yeah. You're going to need a complicated architecture, support, license, and everything else.
Right, exactly. So
I hope you got the answer. If you have any follow-up queries, if you want to have a deep dive, happy to take that question. Yeah. Venusman Kemando, if I'm pronouncing your name right. Do you have engineers from Indonesian people with experience in Galera cluster and MariaDB for support? Yes. We do have our team in Jakarta. I think my colleague Adi Prakosha and Nurulita are in this call. So we do have a small team in Jakarta, but our MariaDB engineers are based in KL as well as Singapore and India. But we do work with customers in Indonesia, and we often fly our engineers for deployment and support. So we do offer 24/7 support based out of Singapore, KL, as well as India, and our engineers do fly down. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody stationed there yet, but as I said, we are flexible to actually have our engineers on the ground, so we keep visiting our customers. Adi is our technical head based in Jakarta. He has, I guess, 25 years of experience, working on different IT projects. He does know MariaDB pretty well, but he is not a Galera engineer per se. I mean, he can provide you support, but he's not an implementation engineer. Implementation engineers are based in Singapore, KL, and India at the moment, yes. But we do plan to expand our team to Jakarta. So if you're looking to get any help on Galera, do let us know. Get in touch with Adi. Let me give you his email ID, adiprakosha@crashsolution.com. You can write to him, and we will be able to have further conversation. So Adi he's quicker than me. He given his number in the chat. All right. Any other questions from anyone? I think we are 3 minutes past our scheduled time, so thanks a lot for staying back. But if you have any last questions, we'll be happy to take that. Okay, noted on your question, Westerman, as well. So let me just copy that before. Right, so I guess everyone else is quite shy to ask. We really appreciate your time, attention for today, and I think we can just hit the button to the final slide to say thank you to everyone, Kanti. And
I stopped presenting.
Yes. Oh, no worries. And yeah, a reminder again that, yeah, feel free to join our next session. So I guess, when will be our next session, Kanti? Do you have it on the top of
Somewhere
your
in
head?
July.
In July.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's going to be July 23rd at the same time, and it will be about achieving the high availability and security of modern applications with MariaDB Enterprise. So there will be deep dive on the data replications, all the synchronous, asynchronous, semi-synchronous setup that we had, and also the AES 256-bit key management, SSL encryption, role-based access control, encrypted backup, audit log, etc. So that the next session on July 23rd at the same time, which is 2 p.m. Malaysia time, 1 p.m. Jakarta time. We'll look forward to see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day ahead. Cheers.